Alright, so today I'm going to try and create a script which we can use to check the strength of a password. So I've went ahead and opened up a blank file already, and I've called it password checker. So we'll go ahead and import some of the modules we'll be using. So we'll be using the system, math, and we'll use the regex as well. So we'll create our first function. So one of the main criteria of a password is the length of it. So we'll create a function, we'll call it check password length. And we'll create our main down here. I'll just copy across some of the boiler code. Okay, so first thing I do is I'll assign the variable password, which is what the user will be passing in, and we'll state that as raw input, and then we'll just say enter your password. Right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pass this into the function up here so we can use it, and then put this in the main. Right, so let's go ahead and create the actual function. So we'll create a variable, we'll call it length, and that's equal to the length of the password. So the len function in Python essentially shows us how long it is, and then we'll create a global variable so we can access it later on through different functions, and we'll say password length. So we'll say if the length of password is less than, so the sort of generally global accepted password length is about 8, so we'll say 8, and then we'll say password should be at least 8 characters long, and then what we'll do is we'll do another print statement, and we'll say password is only, and then what we can do is put the length in, which we have assigned here, so it shows how long the actual password is. So the password is only, and that will display a number here, so password is only character, and what we should do is characters long, and then what we'll do is we'll assign this variable as false because it's not good, and then we'll do our else statement. So else, if it is 8 or more, we'll say your password is, and then we'll do the length, characters. We'll put a comma here. And then what we'll do is we'll set password length good, and we'll set that to true. So let's go ahead and see if it runs alright. Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's counted the space as a character. but there is essentially 6 characters here. But it works. So, but what we can do to fix this spacing issue is we can go here and we'll put a space there. So let's try that again. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it tells us that a password is, so it's added on some extra characters. Right, so we know this works, so we'll go ahead and create another function. We'll call this, so we'll check to see if the password has any uppercase characters, and then we'll pass in the password. So we'll say, I'll create a variable first. We'll say global upper length, and we'll say upper length is equal to the length, and then we'll use a regex. So we'll use the regular expression find all, and then we'll do R. So the R essentially takes the data as a raw input, as a raw string, and then what we're going to do is we want to find characters A to Z, close that, and then we're going to be using, yeah, that's fine, and then we're putting in the password. Okay, so essentially it's going to go through A to Z uppercase characters and tell us if there's any in this, and then we'll print, and then we'll do your password contains, and then we'll put in upper length, upper case character, and then we'll do is we'll say if the upper length is equal to 0, we're going to issue a print statement which says, we'll put a little exclamation mark in there, and we'll say no uppercase characters in password. Okay, so we'll go and put this in our main. So let's try running that, see if it works. So we'll say capital P-A-S-S. Okay, so it tells us that it's 8 characters, and it does tell us that we have 1 uppercase character just here. So we'll just try and run on it again to make sure it does work. Yep, so we have 4 uppercase characters and it's picked them up. Okay, so another criteria that we could use could be the numbers in the password, so any numeric digits that the user puts into the password. So we'll create another function here, and we'll assign a global variable that we can use later on, and we'll say digits, and then we'll say digits is equal to the length, so we'll be using the regex again, find all, and we're going to be looking for the numbers 0 to 9. Close that, and then we're going to look for it in password. And then we'll issue a print statement. We'll say your password has, or your password contains and then numeric digits. And then what we'll say is if digits are equal to 0, then we'll issue a warning and we'll use our exclamation mark there. We'll say no digits in password. So we'll go ahead and put this into our main, and we'll run the script. We'll say password 12. So it's picked up that we have used 2 numeric digits. So we know this works. So what we can do is, previously we did a script where we checked it for common passwords, so we can do it here. So we'll say check common passwords, and we'll input passwords. So we'll create a global variable and we'll call it matched pass, and we'll go ahead and state it to false. So we'll say our common passwords are, and we'll create a list. We'll say passwords, let me in, football, dragon, lemon, and one more, query. Okay, so we have our list of 6 common passwords, which are bad for the user. And then what we'll do is we'll create a loop. So we'll say for common pass in common passwords, we'll say if common pass matches or is equal to password, we'll set the matched pass to true, and then we'll say we need to make sure that this next statement is out with the loop. So we'll say if the matched pass is true, so if the user matches a password that's commonly used, we'll output a statement which says the password supplied has matched a commonly used password. And else, if it doesn't match, we'll just output a statement to let them know. We'll say the password supplied as is not a commonly used password. Alright, so we'll run that, see if it works. Okay, there's an error. So it's coming up with an error here for some reason. Oh, it's because we've assigned the global. So what we need to do is, I'll just put this in a line and we'll say matched pass. That should work. Right. So I'll go ahead and try a password that was in the list. So one of the passwords in there was QWERTY. Oh, so we've not actually called it from the main. Right, let's try again. So we'll say it was QWERTY. So it tells us here the password supplied has matched the commonly used password. We'll just try it again to make sure it does work. So we'll use a different, we'll say, let's do. So the password supplied is not a commonly used password. Characters, uppercase, there's no uppercase. Your password contains 6 numeric digits. Okay, so that all works fine. So what we'll do now is we'll create a essentially like an evaluation function. So we'll just say passwords eval. So we've set all these variables as global so that we can access them down here. So what we're going to do is we'll go up and copy them on to this one down here. So we want this one, we want the upper length, and we also want digits, and we also want the matched pass. And we also need to input them down here. Like so. So let's go ahead and create the contents of our function, our method, sorry. Right, so we'll create a little print statement here and we'll say password evaluation. Actually, we'll do it in a new line so it looks neater. So we'll say if the password length good is equal to true, we'll say that the password length is good. If not, we'll issue another statement which says password length is bad. And we'll create another if else. We'll say if the upper length is greater than or equal to 3. So we can pick any number here, but 3's alright, I guess. So if the upper length is greater than or equal to 3, we'll say your forgot my little your password contains a good amount of uppercase letters, and then we'll say else your password doesn't, so we need to do a backslash there to escape it, doesn't contain enough uppercase letters. So you can kind of set these criteria as you want, but obviously if the password length isn't good, it's going to be bad. But you can change this, you can set it to 2 if you want, 5, 10, whatever. It's completely up to you. So we'll say if the digits, we'll do the same again, greater than or equal to 3, we'll say your password contains a good amount of numeric digits, else your password doesn't contain enough digits. And we've also got the matched password. So if the matched pass is true, so if the password that they've inputted is equal to one of the passwords that we have stored in our dictionary here, we'll say your password matches a commonly used password. And then if it doesn't match it, so if it's not a password that isn't commonly used, or we could just leave it. Now we'll say if, so we'll create some code here which will combine all these here to get, so essentially tell the user whether the password is generally good or bad. So we'll say if password length good and good and it's true, and the upper length is greater than or equal to 3, and the digits greater than or equal to 3, and the matched password is equal to false. Oh, mistake, that should be. So essentially, if all these criteria are met, we'll say you have a good password. Else, if any of these criteria are failed, we'll issue a print statement which says your passwords may be vulnerable. Please review the. So I used these little exclamation things here. So we'll say please review the warnings and consider changing the password. Okay, so that should all work. So let's give it a try. Right, so we'll try a secure password first. So we'll say 3 uppercase, 3 numbers, and we'll add in. Okay, so it tells us we have 22 characters, we have 3 uppercase characters, we have 3 digits, and the password we have supplied is not a commonly used password. Password evaluation tells us that the password length is good, the password contains a good amount of uppercase, a good amount of numeric digits, and we have a good password. So we'll try again. So we'll go ahead and try one of the words that we entered. So password should be at least 8 characters long, password is only 5 characters long, password contains no uppercase, and it alerts us here, it says no uppercase, there's no numeric digits, no digits found. The password supply says matched a commonly used password, and the password evaluation tells us that the length is bad, doesn't contain enough uppercase digits, and a password is matched a commonly used password, which we've said here. And then we've said your password may be vulnerable. Please review the warnings and consider changing the password. And we'll try again. So we'll go ahead and create a password that it's not bad but not good. So we'll use 2 2 capital letters, and we'll add some numbers. So it's got a good amount of characters, it only has 2 uppercase, but it has 5 numeric digits. The password supply isn't commonly used. The length is good. The password doesn't contain enough uppercase letters though, because we only supplied 2. The password contains a good amount of numeric digits, but your password may be vulnerable. Please review the warnings and consider changing the password. But there is some flaws with this script. Obviously, because it's a script, it's never going to be as good as a human evaluation of a password. So even if we said password 123, oh, pasted that in. So in reality, we know that this password is bad because it's password 123. But because it matches the criteria here, it does contain over 8 characters, it has more uppercase, it has digits. So it does tell us we have a good password, as in reality, password 123 is not a good password. So if we wanted to overcome this, the script would have to be a lot more complex. We'd have to, previous video I did where we expanded the amount of passwords in here, so we'd have to check for all uppercase, some uppercase, with letters on the end, etc. But it's a generic enough script, and it does an alright job.